Always a good time talking to my next guest. It's the sniper, Sean Woodson, who you can see back in action at UFC St. Louis, May the 11th, when he takes on Alex Caceres. Sean, how you doing?
I'm doing great, man. Looking forward to this matchup. Looking forward to the whole event. I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm doing good, my man. Yeah, I can only imagine how excited you are. And again, this is going to be in St. Louis. So, what's your level of excitement to be fighting there?
Yeah, man, it's crazy. Last time they were here in St. Louis, I was actually at that event. This was, before I was in the UFC, and it was in 2017, I believe. And yeah, I went to that event and watched it up close and personal, and had a great time. And made a Facebook post afterwards and said, next time they come here, I'll have the best seat in the house, and that's in the octagon. And sure enough, here we are, however many years later, like 7 years later, 2017, 2018, 19, 21. Yeah, like 6, 7 years later, they're back. And yeah, I'll be competing. And yeah, dude, I can't even put into words how crazy it is and how much it means to me. But I've kind of put that on the back burner there. Like, I'm gonna reflect on all that after. For the time being, I have to treat it just like any other fight.
No, for sure. That makes sense. Let me ask you this though. When you were there in person the last time back in 2017, what was the energy in the arena like? What do you expect it'll be like come fight night when you make the walk?
It was crazy, man. Yeah, like at that time, I wasn't sure how big of a fan base, MMA fan base St. Louis may have had, or if they were real knowledgeable on it or not. But man, the place was packed. The energy was high. Every time somebody's music dropped to walk out, the place went crazy. I remember Jeremy Stevens walked out to a Nelly song. I can't remember which one it was exactly. I want to say it was EI. But yeah, when the crowd heard that Nelly, it sounded like there were 100,000 people in there, and I'm expecting it to feel and sound the same way on the May 11th.
Man, that's such a great song. You just brought me right back to my youth. We expect to see you walking out to maybe something similar?
Most likely, yeah. So I walked out to a Nelly song. I walked out to Nelly EI before in my Nashville fight, I think it was, and the version they played when I walked out, I didn't like it at all. So if I can yeah, like talk to them and make sure that the right version is played, then yeah, I'll go with that again for sure.
Okay, I love it, my man. How has camp been thus far? How have you been, I guess, preparing for Alex, awkward style?
Well, I mean, I'm an awkward dude myself, so I feel like I know a little something about that. Yeah, I've just camp's been going great. I'm as dialed in, as focused as I've ever been. This is my first ranked opponent, so of course I'm locked in on a whole nother level. Um, but yes, as far as like fight specific game planning, I've never been too big on that. I always focus on myself and making sure I'm at my best, making sure my skills are sharp and I'm improving where I need to improve. And then yeah, every time I get in there, no matter who I'm fighting, no matter what their style is, I have all the confidence in the world that I find the way to win.
What do you think is going to be the biggest, I don't know, hurdle as far as what Alex brings to the table? Or is there one thing specific that you really just need to kind of be cognizant of come fight night?
Um, he's a veteran. He's super experienced, so I just have to make sure I'm just being smart and that yeah, I'm just not I really just that I don't make any mistakes. I know that he's seen it all, he's done it all, and any mistakes I make, I'm sure he'll see him right away and jump on him. So I just need to go in there, stay focused for 15 minutes, fight the way I fight, uh, and yeah, and everything will be okay.
So is it more so just kind of about being disciplined and technical and not taking any like unnecessary risks against someone as veteran like as Alex?
Yeah, I wouldn't even say to not take risks, so to say. It's just, like when, like you said, he's awkward and he's weird, and so am I. So I feel like I have a good eye for that. I feel like I know what to pay attention to and what not to. I feel like, I'll know when he's bluffing, when he's not, when he's coming, when he's going, things like that. And I don't think his awkwardness will affect me or throw me off as much as it probably has other guys in the past. I think if anything, my awkwardness will have some effects on him and throw him off. I feel like I present some things that he's not used to dealing with. And yeah, it'll be interesting to see how he reacts to that. But like I said, he's a veteran. He's super experienced. So, I'm not banking on him making any mistakes or him, being too nervous, letting anything get to him or anything like that. I'm expecting the best version of himself, and he's for damn sure going to get the best version of me.
Let's talk a little bit about your last fight, UFC 297 split decision victory in enemy territory against Charles Jourdain. Assess your performance for me. How would you rate it, scale of 1 to 10?
Oh, I can't even watch it no more, man. It makes me sick. I'm my worst critic. I see multiple points in that fight where I should have finished them, could have finished them. I see a lot of areas where I should have done more. But like I'm pretty sure we talked afterwards, or I know I've said that despite everything that was going on in that camp and just how terrible of a camp it was, I'm happy with the performance. I'm happy to get a win over a notable guy like that, for sure, especially in his hometown, enemy territory, and all that. But yeah, like my team gets on me, my family and friends, everybody gets on me about being so hard on myself. But at the end of the day, yeah, like I'm not thrilled. I'm happy with it, but I just know I expect better out of myself. I expect more from myself. I know what I can do. So when I don't like live up to that, it just really, really bothers me.
For sure. Yeah, last time we spoke was actually before the fight, so we haven't had a chance to dissect this after UFC 297. Let me ask you this too, because obviously, as we talked about already, being in enemy territory, you never know what the judges are looking at nowadays. You see so many wacky decisions. How nervous were you before you actually got your hand raised?
Yeah, I was super nervous, honestly. And a lot of people afterwards I was seeing in comments, they were like, "Oh, he didn't even believe he won." Or it's like it wasn't that. It was once they started reading off the scorecards and I realized it was gonna be a split, my first thought was like, "Oh fuck, I'm in Canada, his backyard. Like, I feel like I've done enough to win, but I ain't gonna lie, like when I realized it was a split, I thought I had done enough to win, but I thought for sure they were gonna give it to him because it was in his hometown and all that stuff. So yeah, when it was a split, I'm just like, man, I highly doubt this is about to go my way. And then yeah, when they read the scorecards off, I could not make out for the life of me what Bruce had said. I just saw Charles raise his hand, the ref raise his hand, his corner were celebrating. So in that split moment, I just accepted it, and I was like, I should, as even though I thought I'd won, and like for sure, if they would have gave him a decision, would have thought I got robbed. But it was on me at the end of the day. Like I should have finished them, so we didn't even go to the judges. But yeah, I accepted it real quick, and then seconds later, realizing I won, it was like I was at the lowest of lows to the highest of high, and yeah, it was crazy.
That was a strange ending as far as the announcement and the confusion and all of that.
I,
What was, yeah. Was gonna say, like, I can't imagine you've ever seen anything like it before, especially with yourself. Well, the Canadian fans they're pretty intense, right? I've never been to a UFC event where the fans, or excuse me, were in Canada, right? What was it like fighting in front of the Canadian fans? And did they yell anything at you on the way out? Like, what was the feedback you got from them?
Yeah, it was a mix, man. Like some of them were cool and like were like legit fans of mine, and like when I would run into them, they would go into detail talking about my career and stuff like that. And yeah, some of them were die hard, back in their own. Like they were not messing with me at all. Like I remember I was walking out and a couple of them were like waving, trying to get my attention and looking positive, like they were rooting for me. And I'd go to smile and wave back, and they flick me off and be, like, I got you, like, But yeah, they were pretty cool. Despite all that though, like the event that night and everything, it was super electric. They were into the fights from the prelims to the main card. Yeah, they were into it for sure.
Yeah, I can only imagine what that's like to fight in a place like that where the MMA fans that they love the sport so much, going into enemy territory. That must have been an experience that it's got to be close to the top, right, of what you've experienced so far in your career.
Oh yeah, yeah. If I had to pick, yeah, that probably would be at the top. A guy with a name, dangerous, respectable dude, in his hometown, first time fighting international. Yeah, I think that's the right way to phrase it, right? First time
Mhm.
fighting international.
Yep.
Yeah, and at first time, represent not only my city, St. Louis, but America, and yeah, it was great. But I mean, also, yeah, this one was better. But in my debut, I fought Kyle Bochniak in enemy territory in Boston. That was pretty crazy. The fans in Boston were definitely more ruthless than the fans in Canada for sure. But yeah, it's up there. I'd say that's my best win to date for sure.
Yeah, that's where I'm from. I'm from New England, just a little north of Boston, so I know exactly what you're talking about, my man.
Oh
Um,
yeah, right there behind you. Okay, yeah, that's right.
that's
That's right.
right. Go Celtics. Let me ask you, did you take any of that win money and get any new kicks?
Nothing fancy or like real flashy. So I always got to keep a stock of all white Air Force Ones, low tops. So I keep like two or three a pair of them on reserve. My last pair is pretty dingy going into the last fight. So right after the fight, when I got back, I ordered me two pair of those, and I got some Hokas, which are pretty boring, you know. But yeah, I ain't got no new J's so far, man. I can't. I don't even know what the next good ones that are coming out. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna I'm actually gonna hold off now. Now that I fight again in like 5 weeks, I'm gonna have to give me two or three pair to make up from the last fight too.
So I think it's right around the time you fight. I don't know if it's the week before or a week after, but the Jordan 4 military blues are being released. Those are pretty clean.
Okay, yeah. I like Jordan 4, that's one of my favorite Jordans. So yeah, I have to check those out. I have to check
Okay.
those out.
And I do have a suggestion about the Air Force Ones. You get the all white, the low top Air Force Ones, but with the gum bottom. Have you seen those?
No, I haven't.
They're better
I,
than the all white because the bottoms stay cleaner. I think you'll find that it's a nice look.
can you regularly get them, or do they like come out just every now and then?
No, you can get them easy. They should be
Oh,
on they should be on the Nike website right now. If not, you could go on eBay or StockX and find them probably for below retail. They're not
that.
crazy expensive, so you got to look those up.
Yeah, I like gum bottom shoes for sure. So I'm gonna check them out.
All right, and I'm going to send you a picture of those other ones when we're done this interview. I'm going to send it to you in your Instagram of those Jordan 1 lows I was telling you about. They're beautiful.
Them denims. Yeah, I still have yet to add a Jordan 1 low to my collection. I got a bunch of high top Jordan 1s, but yeah, I need a pair of low tops.
Okay. Yeah, this will be a good first addition to the top collection. Before we transition back to your upcoming fight here with Alex Caceres, big fight card this weekend. UFC 300 might be maybe the best card that we've ever seen, or at least as far as the lineup goes. It's amazing. Is there any fights? Obviously, they're all great, but is there one or two that kind of stand out to you that you're really looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to seeing how Aljo does it. 45, making his debut up there. I'm looking forward to that one. Oh, man, the card is so stacked. I'm looking forward to Cody and Figueroa. Looking forward to that for sure. Yeah, the main event, my man Jamal Hill and Pereira. Looking forward to that one. Yeah, all of them. I'm just looking forward to the card overall for real.
How do you think Aljo's going to do going up to 145? I mean, Calvin Cater, this is a guy who's got really good boxing. His takedown defense is pretty good as well. Like, what do you see in that fight?
Yeah, I feel like Aljo and a lot of other people think like he's gonna have like an easy time with Cater, but I don't think so. I definitely, I could see him beating Cater for sure, and I definitely feel like Cater will be in trouble if Aljo gets a hold of him and gets him on the ground. But like you said, Cater has some good wrestling defense and has crisp boxing, and uh, you know, bumping up in weight, no telling how it's gonna affect Aljo and his cardio, like carrying the extra weight, is he going about that the right way? So yeah, I'm interested to see it. I could see a world where Aljo gets a hold of Cater and chokes him out like he did Corey Sandhagen, or to where Aljo goes in there and I don't know why I feel like he's gonna like almost force the takedown, and I can see him, Cater stuffing a couple shots and Aljo slowing down, maybe gassing, and Cater, picking them apart from there. But yeah, it's a intriguing matchup for sure.
Figueiredo looks pretty good in his bantamweight debut, beating Rob Font. Do you see him beating Cody Garbrandt as well?
That's another one that's tough to call for me. They're both like, almost the same fighter. Like they look to move forward and destroy the guy, just put hands on people and knock them out. Cody seems like his confidence is at an all-time high right now. And he, when you listen to his interviews and hear him talk, he's, extremely confident that he's gonna beat Figgy. But yeah, if I had to put some money on it, I would go Figueroa. But yeah, that's another one that's tough to call.
And Max Holloway is going up to 155 to take on Justin Gaethje for the BMF belt. Do you think he gets it done, or do you think Gaethje's just going to be too big, too strong?
Man, I want Max to win, and I feel like he's got a shot, but yeah, I don't know. I just feel like Gaethje edges him out now. I feel like it's kind of like just compared to the both of them, I feel like Gaethje's in a lot better spot in his career than Max is. Even though Gaethje's been in some wars, I feel like Max has been in a lot more wars, probably taking a lot more punishment. Um, but Max is a dog, and it's hard to count him out. But yeah, I feel like Gaethje's gonna get that one.
Yeah, I'm with you too there. It's a tough one because I like both fighters. Give me a pick for the main event, the title fight between Pereira and Jamal Hill. How does it end?
I'm gonna go Jamal Hill. Man, this fight game, the power of belief is everything, and 90% mental, 10% physical, and if you ask Jamal Hill, like he is certain he's gonna knock Pereira out, and Pereira's chin is questionable, and not always does a guy with better skills win. Not always do you have to have the better skills to win. It's like, you can be a more skillful fighter than me, but if I believe in my skills more than you believe in yours, and I, shoot my shot more confidently than you do yours, a lot of times we can go the less skillful guy's way. Alex is a super decorated glory kickboxer and has amazing striking, but there's something that Jamal Hill sees that he's not worried about it and believes he's gonna win. So I'm gonna rock with the guy that the power of belief. I'm going with Jamal Hill.
Okay, fair enough, man. I can't wait for that fight. It's going to be an absolute banger. One other fight-related topic I want to get your thoughts on before we do transition back to this Caceres matchup. There's a new champion in your division. Ilya Topuria goes in there, beats Volkanovski. I got to admit, I didn't see it coming. Like I knew how good Topuria was, but I just thought that Volk would still his time, and clearly it's not, or at least maybe for the time being, it's Paporia's time, and then maybe Volk can get back. Who knows? But were you
Yeah,
surprised about that? Like, what did you think of that outcome?
yeah, I was surprised by how clean he made it look and how it happened, but I had him picked going into that fight. Again, it was going back to like believing in yourself. Topuria was extremely confident going into that. Young, 26 years old, Volk 36, 37 or something. And yeah, Topuria had the momentum on his side, so I thought he was gonna win, but I didn't think he was gonna do Volk like that. But yeah, I mean Topuria is good. He's good.
Do you think he loses that belt anytime soon, or he's going to hang on to it and be the champ for a little while?
I mean, shit. If I'm being honest, I hope not. I hope he still has it by the time I get up there because I feel like that's a great matchup for me. But yeah, I'm trying to think. I mean, if he runs it back with Volk, I feel like he'll get Volk. I've seen they said they want to do Poirier versus Holloway if he yeah, I just feel like I seen them, rumoring that matchup that they're trying to make that in the future or whatever. Um yeah, but yeah, when I really think about it, I'm trying to think, yeah, I don't really see anybody that I could, confidently pick right now saying to dethrone Poirier.
Yeah, man, he's a beast. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with him moving forward until you get to the top of that division and can contend for a title. Let me ask you this: when you look at Alex Caceres too, and you're doing film study about your upcoming opponents, do you find it that you take more from studying losses of your opponents or their victories, or does it just depend on the fight that you're looking at?
It all depends on the fight. It all depends on the fight. If it's a victory that like a first round finish or something like that, or where I feel like you just caught a guy, that doesn't really tell me much. I can learn more in a hard fought loss, that went to decision or whatever. But yeah, I watch it all. I watch everything. Um, you know, yeah, I watch it all. Y'all know he's been in the UFC for a long time. He has fights that date all the way back to 2011, and yeah, I watch everything from the beginning of his career to now. I watch all of his interviews. I'm learning. I'm learning a lot as we go from this guy. He's a veteran of the sport, been in there a long time. I'm learning a lot from his interviews and the way he approaches the fight game mentally and all that, and dealing with the pressures of the fight game. I feel like we have the same approach in that. We have a lot of the same thought pathways, I guess you would say. We think the same about a lot of things. So yeah, it's pretty cool to hearing a guy who's had the longevity in the sport that he's had. It's pretty cool to hear him speak on thinking ways that I think, and I'm like, okay, I'm approaching this right in order to have longevity. Because here's a guy who's had longevity and he's thinking the same shit I'm thinking. So yeah, it's cool. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, because obviously, like you said, there's a lot of tape on him, and the fight with Julian Erosa, he caught him, finished him early, so really, there's not a whole lot to dissect there. But if you look at his most recent fight, it was a UD loss to Giga, and I'm sure there's a lot that you can take from that. Giga's a stand-up fighter, much like yourself. Is that a fight that you really can take from and implement a style here to get the win over Caceres?
Yeah, I can take some things from that fight, it being his most recent fight, but I also know he was pretty labored because he had broke his arm early in the first round of that fight. So watching the rest of it, you can still take some things for it, but I can't put too much stock in it, knowing that he was dealing with a severe injury in that time. Uh yeah, I watch everything, but I'm a realist and I just I keep it real. And yeah, that was he broke his arm in that fight, so I don't really put too much stock in it, but I've still watched it a few times.
He's got 10 decision victories, Sean. So do you feel like the only way that he's going to have a chance to hang in there and beat you is to kind of point fight and beat you over the course of three, rounds? Or is this a guy that, potentially has the power to get you out of there?
No, I don't think he has the power, so to say, to get me out of there. I mean, anything can happen. He could wing a lucky shot and I not see it coming. But if anything, I feel like, and the same with everybody, I feel like he's gonna be looking to drag me to the floor. And his cup of tea is getting to the back. I think he's gonna be looking to, create some cake. He's gonna try to dress it up this is just my opinion, what I think. He's gonna try to dress it up and make me think that he's down to strike with me and create a couple of exchanges and try to create a little bit of chaos. And in the midst of chaos, I think he's gonna try to slip around to my back. I don't even think he's gonna be trying to necessarily take me down. I think he's just gonna be trying to clinch up with me, get a hold of me standing up, and sneak around to my back. And yeah, hope he can find success there. But yeah, that's so much what I've gathered from him so far from all the film study I've done, and that's what me and my team have been like addressing that and training and preparing for that. So and I'm sure we'll see more things along the way, but right now that's what we're preparing for.
Yeah, so I have to imagine then this camp, there's been a lot of grappling defense, putting yourself in tough positions and scrambling out of them.
Oh yeah, 100%. That's involved in every camp. Every camp we work bad positions. Every camp we start off with guys on my back. We start off with me mounted. We start off with me on my back and guard, and got to get back to my feet or fight off my back and all that. And yeah, I feel like I know I have the skills to compete with anybody there. I know I have the skills to handle myself in any realm of fighting, but it's going to take I guess the right opponents and the right fights for that to be shown and for them to bring it out of me.
Ultimately, how does this fight end, Sean? What do you think we're going to see? Are you going to piece him up on the feet and get him out of there? Or is this going to be a very technical fight where you win 15 minutes?
I'm coming prepared for a 15-minute war. I know this dude. He's gotten choked a couple times, but he's never been finished from strikes. He's never been TKO'd or KO'd. So that would make a huge statement. I'm definitely gonna be going for that. I'm looking to finish the fight in every one of my fights. Um, but yeah, him being as durable as he is, I'm feeling a 15-minute war. I'm feeling a 15-minute a fight. I don't. That's one thing in my past. I've had opponents that have accepted the height difference, and they've kind of like accepted the fact that they weren't going to get in on me, and just didn't necessarily fight to win, but they just fought not to get finished or fought not to look bad. But I don't think well, I know he won't do that. He won't accept defeat. He'll be looking to win the whole time. He'll be pressing me, the whole time. And yeah, I think it's gonna be a fight.
Can't wait to watch, man. May the 11th. It's going to be here before you know it. UFC St. Louis, Sean Woodson, Alex Caceres. It's going to be a fun one, man. Sean, it's always great to talk to you. One of my favorite guys to interview. Before we do sign off here, as always, I want to give you the floor. If there's anything you want to plug, anyone you want to thank, the floor is yours.
Check me out on Instagram, STL Sniper. Always trying to grow that. And then yeah, just my squad here, Wolves Den Training Center, my dude Matt Owens, Project Deliverance, Horsepower and Barbells, my strength coach. And yeah, the whole city of St. Louis. Thanks for always supporting me and having my back. And I'm looking forward to putting on the show for you guys.